After giving more than 30 talk show interviews in Europe, Norbert Heuser, a German entrepreneur, is now here on the Tan Talk Radio Network with his own show, Improve Your Life, covering many total different subjects and introducing many people from all walks of life. And now, here's Norbert Heuser.
Hello and good evening to you. Thanks a lot for tuning in. It's Monday evening, 6 o'clock. It's my time, and my show is called Improve Your Life. Now, what does that mean? Well, life has a lot of different areas where we all need to improve or keep working on improving. So today I'm on my own. The theme of today is the danger of electromagnetic radiation, means the danger of cell phones and Wi-Fi. But before we're going to start with this theme, let me quickly update you. Let me look here. Next week, I'm going to have a guest on the show, Winston Cow, about that most vitamins are not good for you, and the probiotic hype. Everybody talks about probiotic. So let's talk to Winston Cow. He's specialist in this area. Then the week after, Monday, the 5th Monday, I will be talking about that the bees are vanishing from this planet, which a lot of people don't know. The bees are dying by the millions and trillions, are vanishing from the planet. This is going on for several years now, not only yesterday. And people who understand the world and how it works understand how important bees are to our planet. And I'll be talking about this and why the bees are vanishing and what I have done about it. And then the week after, we'll see what happens then. You can see what happens, by the way, on my website, improveyourlife.us. Improveyourlife.us. And on this website, you'll find, among others, books I recommend, the store. You find the show calendar. In my last show, like in every show, I come up with a phrase. The last week, I asked you, who said that? The external world is a canvas where you paint with the colors of your soul. I found this sentence so, it just took me. The external world is a canvas where you paint with the colors of your soul. And I asked you who said that. And unfortunately, we didn't have a winner, because otherwise you could have won my beautiful drinking cup, state of the art. And well, and here is the answer who said that. It's a gentleman called Michael Beckwith. Well, I personally never met Michael Beckwith. He's a customer of mine so far. He's out in California, in LA area, I believe. And Michael is a soul man. He is a spiritual leader, and his website is mindvalley.com. You may want to check it out. I guess it's very worth it. Michael Beckwith, thank you for this beautiful sentence. And today I have a new challenge for you. Talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see. Again, talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see. Now, if you go on my website and send me an email and confirm who said that, and if you're right, you win my beautiful drinking cup. 20 ounces. Everything hot in there stays hot. Everything cold stays cold for a long time. And you don't burn your finger and you don't freeze your fingers. It's state of the art. It's yours if you send me an email on my website, improveyourlife.us, and I will then get you this to see and to receive, okay? So far, so good. That's the traditional part of the day. And now we are moving over to the theme of today. The theme of today is the danger of cell phones and Wi-Fi. Now, in my last show, last week or 2 weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, I covered the first part. And I must say, I have so much material that it would take 3-4 shows to cover all that. So I'm trying to fine stream it down to as little as possible. But man, the information out there and the information I have gathered in my home on books, on pamphlets, on reports, on tests, on YouTube testimonials and statements. It's enormous what you find out there, enormous. And the most for the worse, not for the good part. The average person thinks that cell phones and Wi-Fi are harmless. Let me give you some basics to get that covered. First of all, we have to understand where cell phones and Wi-Fi is penetrating our life. We have it in the mobile phone or smartphones. We have it in these Wi-Fi connections, smart meters, transmission towers. We'll talk about this in a minute. GPS, all monitors, all tablets, everything with a screen has electromagnetic radiation, which is basically the technology Wi-Fi runs under, electromagnetic radiation. Every microwave oven is the devil. Cars, even every regular combustion chamber car, electric cars are the devil. We'll talk about this maybe today's show. If not, I will do a third and last show. In trains and buses, we have electromagnetic radiation. In airplanes, we have radiation. Radars, solar systems, everywhere is electromagnetic radiation, which harms the human body. Now, the electromagnetic radiation is measurable. Sorry, is measurable, and it measures, thank you, and it measures in what is called microwatts per square meter. So as you measure your weight by pounds or the speed of your car by miles per hour, you measure electromagnetic radiation with microwatts per square meter. Now we have a natural electromagnetic radiation in us, which is about 80 to 100. 80, usually 80, let's say 80, and it shouldn't be more than 100. So if you expose yourself to electromagnetic radiation from all these gadgets I just named you, you should not expose yourself more than to 100, 120. More than 100, 120 is harmful to your body. All right. Having said that, if you make a phone call, a cell phone call, a smartphone call, you expose yourself easily to 2,000 to 3,000 microwatts per square meter. 2,000 to 3,000, and you shouldn't expose yourself more than to 100, 120. Electric car has easily 4, 5, 6, 8,000. So all these products I just listed are all harming your body because they all create or work on electromagnetic radiation. And Wi-Fi is the most one around us. Because wherever you go nowadays, you have Wi-Fi attacking you. What does that mean? Well, you go to a restaurant, there's Wi-Fi connections. You go even to the bathroom, you go to movie theaters, you go to hotels, you go to cafes, restaurants, schools, kindergartens, hospitals. Everywhere is a Wi-Fi connection. Now, for you to find out about Wi-Fi connections, there's an easy app, and the app is called Fing, F-I-N-G. If you put this app on your cell phone and you activate it, free charge, you can see how many Wi-Fi connections are bombarding my body as I am sitting here. And you see the amount of Wi-Fi connections. And you may have made the experience when you have a laptop or computer and you want to activate the internet, it offers you 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 connections of your neighbors left and right, up and down. Which means if you have the password, you can access it. If you can access it, it means it penetrates you. So even if you would switch off your cell phone, what most people don't do, and even if you switch off your Wi-Fi, what most people don't do, and they talk to me, they say, oh, I switch off my Wi-Fi at nighttime. Yeah, so what about daytime? Well, then I have it on. But even if you switch it off at daytime or nighttime, all the neighbors around you have these Wi-Fis running, and they harm your body. There is no question, there's plenty of evidence for people who want to know that electromagnetic radiation harms your body. And I said last time, which I repeat today, at the moment, every third person is dying of cancer. Now you tell me how this is possible. That within the last 50 years, the level of cancer increased to every third person is dying of cancer. Because in the last 50 years, Wi-Fi has been covering more and more and more and more. They go parallel, the development of the amount of Wi-Fi and the amount of cancer. For me, there is no question. Are there some other reasons as well? Yeah, okay. But the majority, I personally relate to electromagnetic radiation. And there's proof for it. In the last show, and I'll repeat this again, it's too important. There's this gentleman called Captain Jerry Flynn. Captain Jerry Flynn wrote this book, Hidden Dangers 5G, and I highly recommend to you to get this book. It's the most compact information you can ever have. I'm a choir boy compared to this gentleman, what he knows, what he has put together. He is a retired electronic warfare specialist because electromagnetic radiation has been used by the armies of the world since the 1950s as weapons. Yes, the armies have been using electromagnetic radiation since the 1950s. And what we think now, the new devil 5G, that's been around like the early 60s, being used by the armies. Now, what you need to know is that all these technologies are first developed by the armies of the world. Why? Because they have all the budgets, bigger budgets than any university. They have all the budgets in the world to develop all kinds of crap, most for the worse, some maybe for the good. And once they develop these technologies, they use them, of course, and eventually these technologies are sold to the industry. And the industry, big times, uses these technologies to cash in. For example, when I was young, these microwave ovens came up, right? You remember perhaps? And we thought that's a gift from heaven. Well, it was a gift from hell, because all microwave ovens kill the food. If you still use a microwave oven, please stop to use it. Go to your best enemy, to your worst enemy, and says, hey, John, I always hated you, but as a symbol of my love for you, I forgive you, and here is my microwave oven. Please use it as much as possible. Then you try to assure that he dies before you die, if you use it as much as possible. Microwave oven are the devil. Please, if you still use microwave oven, reconsider, stop using it immediately. I know it's practical. Honey, the food is in the microwave oven. Press 1 minute and enjoy the dinner. I'm going out with my friends. Yeah, it's practical. And all these practical things cost a price. We pay a price for comfort. And the price is basically always health. Health is the price. I do fly a lot around the world. Trust me. To fly in an airplane means you harm your DNA. No question. I've made some tests. We have a natural radiation on our ground where we live every day for millions of years, a natural radiation. When I climb into an airplane, I took for a while what is called a Geiger counter or a Geiger meter, which measures the radiation. So I took the Geiger counter with me on the plane. I think nowadays they would, I would be complimented to leave the plane with a machine gun to my head. But I did it at this time and I got away with it. The flight attendants were really looking at me, what the hell is he doing? And I measured the radiation because I wanted to know what is not published. Okay, I measured the radiation, and the radiation in the airplane was about 30 times higher than on the ground. So is flying healthy? Absolutely not. And by the way, airline pilots, looking at cancer by the profession, airline pilots have one of the highest rates of cancer in the world. And the airline attendants does have, to the majority, major health problems over the years, not within a year or two. It takes some time till the body shuts down. First, the body tries to defend itself, for years, give some signals. I'm not doing well, the writing on the wall, stop it, we don't stop it. Then the crap hits the fan. That's the way it works. So this is going on airplanes. So, and I will have eventually a show here, which is called, basically, I will call it the main inventions of the last 200 years are all sexy and fluffy and comfortable, but basically all major inventions of the last 200 years harm this planet. And when I say this planet, I mean not only the human beings, I mean as well the plants and the animals. I will have a show soon talking about the bees. I'm not sure you know, the bees are dying by the trillions. And you may be not aware how important the bees are for the pollination on this planet. And one of the main reasons bees are dying is because of electromagnetic radiation. That's a simple fact. And I will bring this topic soon in one of these shows, and I will show you the solution I have to stop that. I worked on this for a long time, and the solution is there. So this is electromagnetic radiation. So we have covered that so far, and you see the problem is mankind is extinct because they believe the laws of nature were not valid for them. Again, mankind is extinct because they believe that the laws of nature were not valid for them. We think we can do what we want, and we get away with everything. We get not away with everything. Maybe not in our lifetime, but in the lifetime of our children. At the moment, we have so many microplastics in this world, in food, in the ground, in the water, in the rain, in the ocean. I have no idea what you guys think how we can survive this. Life can only come from life. We cannot live from plastic. It doesn't work. Now, another interesting program is here, and it's called antennasearch.com. Antennasearch.com. Now, if you see this file here, I checked my office, and this program shows, it's a free program. You go there on the website, and it shows you, if you punch in your address, how many transmission towers and how many antennas are around where you are based. In my case, within 3 miles, within a radius of 3 miles, I have 79 towers and I have 301 antennas around my office within 3 miles. And this website tells you which is the next, how many 10, 50, 100 feet is away from you, and so on and so forth. And I thought, oh, what a great company, what a great tool to find out where are they screwing me over. Well, I was very naive when I thought that, because then I found out that's a website which encourage you to buy into the technologies. So you buy an antenna and put it on your house to make money. That's how nice these people are, right? So these programs, like the Fing program I just told you, these programs, you can see what's going on. It doesn't solve the problem, but at least you know. And to know what's going on is the first step, maybe to be aware, of course, and then to handle it. Okay. And today I will concentrate the second half of the show on health. I found out I have too much material. So today I'm going to cover the issue of health completely, pretty completely as an overview. You can have dozens of specialists talking about it and presenting you much more than I ever can. But I give you the basics you can live with and you should know, and you don't need to know more than what is going on. Now, the cell phones and Wi-Fi and the 5G is the worst situation we ever had in modern history. There's nothing more dangerous, nothing more ridiculous, nothing more harmful than 5G and the Wi-Fi penetration we actually have. During the pandemic, when we were locked in our properties and couldn't go out, a lot of people have not realized that the technology side was very active, and they put Wi-Fi towers everywhere. Wi-Fi towers everywhere. Now, for you better understand, the Wi-Fi towers are not all big, huge towers. As I said, like I have like whatever 300 transmitters. These are small little gadgets which you don't even sometimes realize. They are on lampposts. They are on a traffic sign. They have the red light stop. And I give you here some images. Look at here. This is the pole with two gadgets on it, and you think it's an electricity pole. Yes, but there is a transmission built-in 5G as well. And here's another one with the pole. And here's a big tower. Yes, that's a big tower. You can easily track them, right? You see them everywhere. But these big towers are plenty of. But in between those big towers, you have the small ones. Because with the new technology, 5G, you need every 300 feet some kind of transmission for the technology. They nail it with safety pins to your wall of your house. Wherever they want to do it, they will do it. And here's an image. You see a post, and on the post is a 4G technology and a 5G. And they go that far. Here's some examples where they hide the towers and disguise them as a cactus. Isn't that funny? They disguise them as a cactus, so you think you'd be in a nice area with beautiful plants. So what they actually do, they screw us over, big time. Now you're saying, well, who will do that? Well, these are people who have no ethics. They're looking to make the biggest amount of money possible. You have advertisings everywhere, how much millions you can make now with billions with the 5G technology. And people go for the money. They don't go what ethical. They don't care what is ethical. They care for the money and the control. And we have quite a few psychopaths running this planet. These are the people responsible for the wars. These are people responsible for all the crap going on with Corona, which is all nonsense. And these are the people behind 5G. Now, why do they push 5G? They don't push 5G because of a fast phone call. But this I will talk about in the third show. And in my third show, in a week or two, I will talk about what is truly behind all that. They're selling us the 5G as a great technology to download a movie in 20 seconds instead of 3 minutes, all right? And to have more safe phone calls, faster connections, less dropouts. That is all crap to get your approval and your agreement. What it's really all about, we get to this. But before, in the next show. But today, again, as I said, my main theme today is, the question of health. Now, talking about health, I would like to give you an idea of a German biologist called building biologist. That's a profession in Germany, which comes more known as well in America. You can have general physical conditions and mental symptoms: headache, dizziness, constant tiredness, ear noise, hormonal disorders, neuropathy, heart problems, sleep problems, difficulty concentrating, attention deficits, hyperactivity disorders, allergies, fears, blurred vision, general malaise. Yes, these are all the possible illnesses you can have because of electromagnetic radiation. Depending on where your weakest link is in your body, this is where it hits you first. And when you see all these deficit orders they come up with, especially the children over the last 10, 15 years, well, fine. There are several reasons for that. We can talk some other shows about these deficiencies. But one of them is at least the exposure to electromagnetic radiation and the screens and the tablets the kids are using. There's no question in my mind. Now, kids are very vulnerable. You must imagine these electromagnetic radiation penetrate your body and penetrate your head, as mostly they're in your face and on your ears. Here is a photography. I did a thermal photography. Thermal photography means you shoot a photo and the different temperatures on your body show in different colors. So let's look at this one here. This is the head of my former office manager. You see a bit on the left side, the nose and the ear, you can see that with the hair coming around it. The left photo shows you the normal photography without any exposure to anything. The photo in the middle shows you him making a phone call for 10 minutes on a cell phone which was protected from my technology. And you see there is hardly any difference in those two photos. On the right side, you see the same guy making a 10-minute phone call with the same phone, which is not protected. And you see how the colors are changing and how much warmer the skin became. Now, the skin becomes warmer, which shows you as well basically the penetration of the heat, because you have biochemical reactions of the cell phones, you have a thermal reaction, and you have as well mental reaction. We'll get to this later. Now, the danger for children is, among others, that children don't have what is called a brain barrier. It's not developed. So here I have an image for you. You see on the left side the penetration of a cell phone on the skull and the brain of a 5-year-old. In the middle of a 10-year-old, and on the right side of an adult whose brain barriers are developed, fully developed. So children and pregnant women are the most endangered species when it comes to cell phones Wi-Fi usage. There's no question to all that. Only if you are ignorant, then you would not see that. Now, the problem is with cell phones, you cannot smell them, you cannot taste it. Very few people can, mostly not. And you don't know what's going on. It's like in the old times when the ladies poisoned their husbands with arsenic. The arsenic poison you cannot taste and smell. This is why in the old British times, Agatha Christie wrote her books, how these ladies are poisoning their husbands with arsenic. 2 years ago, when this whole thing came up, much stronger, I'm working on this for 10 years. And when 10 years ago I gave workshops and seminars, people were looking at me like I'm from outer space. What nonsense is he talking about? All right, that's fine. So a few years ago, in 2016, it was that, let me read the details that I don't mess it up. In the Western Elementary School in Ripon, California, 4 students and 3 teachers were diagnosed with cancer. Now, the victims, the parents, and the local environmental groups blamed the cell phone tower for this. Because listen up, what the school did, they accepted that a cell phone tower was set up on the playground of that school. It can't become better. You cannot invent that shit. I mean, come on. Yes, okay, direct killing of the children. Now, of course, the school did it not just for the fun of it. They received $23,000 every year for accepting that post on the school ground. When the crap hit the fan and the media, immediately the company torn down the tower, of course, and ran away with it because it was a too hot topic. At this time, I guess several radio stations in the United States were looking for answers and explanations. And I was called to give an interview at about 50 radio stations across the United States to say something about this technology and say something about that it's dangerous. And I could clearly see at this time, even some talk show masters were kind of, who the hell are you? What are you talking about? Meanwhile, I can clearly say the world and the awareness has changed. The awareness became much bigger than ever before in history. And so I'm happy that they interviewed me. However, we have to do it again, I guess. I will call these radio stations again because now we have material through the wazoo to prove all this, what I'm saying. Now, the children will be hit. Not only their DNA changes, like ours as adult changes. I said the development of hyper depression. The water structure in their body will be damaged just as adults. A Danish study surveying that 13,000 children found an 80% increase of behavioral problems the one who uses cell phones and whose mothers use cell phones during their pregnancy. It's a study with 13,000 children, and 80% had a clear evidence of behavioral disorders. Now, I'm in the happy situation that I can send my children everywhere without having fear that they being harmed. I'll show you in a moment how I do that. Children nowadays, unfortunately, use the smartphone like a teddy bear. I see 2-3-year-old toddlers in their buggies using cell phones. And the parents love to do that because the kids are entertained. Keep them busy, give them a smartphone, and they're playing around with whatever games, more or less stupid, and they're busy. They're off my back. And the number one reason in Australia for children to die is brain cancer. Now, you tell me what causes most likely brain cancer. Not hard to guess, is it? Well, this is with children. Now, with adults, it becomes a bit more dramatic, and I have here my documentation. Allow me to read that to you. The basic question is, are cell phones safe? No, they're not safe at all. And you need to know that no company had ever to prove that cell phones are not dangerous. No company. And the tricks behind this, I will give you in my third and last show about this, what is really going on with the cell phones. In the manuals, which you have to download from the websites, typically on page 195, which of course you read on a Saturday night, the entire manual, it says, do not hold the cell phone against your skin. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's difficult when you hold a cell phone, right? Because when you hold a cell phone, it is on your skin. And they do these in preparation for future possible lawsuits. That they said, look, we said don't hold it on your skin. Now, you have a chemical reaction with cell phone, a biological reaction, and a mental reaction. Thermal, chemicals, biological. So this hits you from all sides. It is important to know that no doctor in this world, basically no doctor in university, has been educated in electromagnetic radiation, means the use of cell phone and Wi-Fi and the consequences for the human body. No doctor has ever been trained, educated about that, unless he did it on his own tab when he left university. As well, no doctor has ever been trained about water. Okay, now, of course, the doctor himself, you come to his praxis is bombarded with Wi-Fi. He himself uses a cell phone, has a cell phone in his pocket, or a cordless phone, which is as well dangerous. The patient has more or less a cell phone in his pocket. So the doctor is using the cell phone himself. Now, does he relate necessarily his patient's problems with using the cell phone? No, he doesn't care. He doesn't know. 80% of the doctors are just ridiculous. They're just a shame. 85% are a shame. Uneducated, stupid, sorry. 10% are good, 5% are great. You got to find the 10% good and 5% great. And I will have a show sometime about the good and not so good doctor and explain you the difference. So what happens now to the adult? The bone marrow gets killed. That's proven. The bone marrow gets killed. Behavior disorder, hyper-depressed. Your water structure in your body gets destroyed. Your DNA gets damaged. It damages the cells with no question. Cancer, as I said, every third person at the moment dies of cancer, and the number will go up. There's no question. Colon cancer doubled between 1995 and 2013. Colon cancer doubled between 1995 and 2013. I have no newer statistics, but I trust that the newer statistics are worse. Prostate cancer doubled for men between 55 and 69 between 2004 and 2013. Brain cancer is on the run. Hip replacement. Where do most people carry their phone? On the hips, on a holster, in the pocket. And the hip replacement for the age between 45 and 54, for that age group, between 2000 and 2010, has tripled. Now tell me why hip replacement tripled. The sperm count with men went drastically down. Men born between 1990 and 1995 have 40% lower sperm count than men born earlier. And meanwhile, it's even accepted that cell use is linked with these erectile dysfunctions. The fertilization in women became problematic and has drastically reduced. These are facts, guys. I'm not making this up. I'm not smart enough to make this up. I'm just collecting the data and putting it together for you perhaps to wake up. Glands. We have three important glands in our bodies, the thymus gland, the thyroids, and the pineal gland. While the pineal gland is so important that, again, most of the doctors don't have even idea what's going on with the pineal gland. And the pineal glands, and these glands in general, are all malfunctioning. Most of the people, these three glands, when I test them, they're malfunctioning. And the reasons are like we are all too acidic, not too acidic. Another show we do about acidic. Bad water, we do a show or two about bad water. Chronic stress, toxins, and again, electromagnetic radiation. So these glands cannot function well enough. Why are we so sick nowadays? I mean, with all the knowledge we have, the trillions of dollars of machinery, why are we so damn sick, most of us? I don't know hardly any person who's not sick, including the doctors. I went to a private clinic, and I can say without hesitation that the owner, the head doctor of that clinic, the principal, looked like his worst patient. I've never seen anything like that. By the way, we tested in Switzerland, in Zurich, a hospital with this FING program. We wanted to know how many Wi-Fi penetration you have in a hospital where you're there to become healthier or healthy, right? The first hospital showed 1,200 Wi-Fi connections, where my friend from Zurich was standing to take the measurement. 1,200. Please try to digest it. Then my friend went to, his name is Roger Matt, went to now second hospital, because the first reading was like, there must be something wrong. The second hospital confirmed basically the same number. So the place where you go to become healthy makes you worse, if not for other reasons, only for electromagnetic radiation. So the bone marrow gets structured. And then another thing is that fungus grows. Where you have electromagnetic radiation, fungus grows more than where there's no electromagnetic radiation. Then the cells are fantastic computers, the most fantastic computers on this planet. And the calcium in the cells increases by 1,000 times under the influence of 5G. One of the reasons people have problems with corona, because the cell phone 5G brings up those values to an unacceptable, sick-making plan. All right, so this is what you need to know. Now, Fukushima happened 10 years ago. And 10 years ago, Fukushima was blowing up. And when Fukushima blew up, a lot of radiation spread around the world, especially to the west coast of the United States. And after 10 years now, Fukushima is still giving us a hard time. Still. People don't talk about it anymore, like it's gone. It is not gone. Fukushima is not gone. It's still there. It's still active. It's still bad. It's crazy. And it's radiation. Radiation is most dangerous. So these are the health problems in a nutshell. And I have plenty of evidence. And there's, for example, Dr. Neil Cherry from New Zealand, who unfortunately does not live anymore. And Dr. Neil Cherry has proven that this time was 4G, creates cancer and kills the bone marrow and other things. And he has published it. And you can see the publication on my website. If you go to protectpro.net, protect for protection, protectpro.net. There you can read all these studies, which I put together for you, as well. I put many videos there for you. Now, what I have done is to protect you from these harmful electromagnetic radiation. I have started to develop 10 years ago. The first product, which I showed the other day, is a protection for the cell phone. And you just put this between your cell phone, it's like a credit card, very small, between your cell phone and your covering protective case. Or if you don't have a protective case, put a double Scotch tape on the back side of it and glue it with double Scotch tape. And you can take it from one phone to the other. It's warranted for 5 years. Go to my website, protectpro.net. That's for the cell phone. Now for the house, I said the most important thing is that at your house, you're protected 24/7 from your own gadgets and from the one of the neighbors, from GPS, from cell phones, from smart meters, from everything. So I developed this gentleman here, which is Protect Pro Smart Defender. And the Smart Defender, this one, covers you. It's like a plate. You just put it anywhere in your house, and it covers a radius of 150 feet, a diameter of 300 feet. It's like a half a football field. So when you're out in the garden, in the front, on the porch, the kids play on the playground, it's all covered. Not only horizontal, two-dimensional, but three-dimensional as a sphere. So the second, third floor, or the basement is covered as well. 100% coverage against electromagnetic radiation. And this all has been tested by the BISA Institute in Austria, which has certified my products, because I wanted them to test and confirm that my products do what they're supposed to do. So, and all these tests of my products cover about, I said the other day, 2,000 pages. That was wrong. More than 1,500 pages. I checked again. All right. More than 1,500 pages. They tested the product and certified them, made tests, and showed they really do what I say they do. They protect your 24/7 house all around the clock. Whether it's your own ones or from the neighbors or the new towers they're building up close to your house or on your house, it doesn't matter. It's all covered. Now, once I did that, and I said, oh, I'll cover the world now. I have the cell phone protection, I have the house protection. Some people came up to me and says, look, my house is just a one-room apartment. I don't need to cover 150 feet in radius, which is 300 feet in diameter. I just have an office of 20 feet or just have a one-bedroom apartment. Okay, fine, I said. And then I developed a second one, which is much smaller. It does exactly the same thing like the other one does, but it's much smaller and lower in price and covers smaller areas. Technically, it does the same thing. And what it technically does, you can see on my website, protectpro.net, where I explain in details what all is covered and handled. Now, once I did that, I thought, now I'm good. But meanwhile, in that period, remember, I started 10 years ago to develop this technology, which, by the way, is all manufactured in Germany. All the products are manufactured in Germany. And my designs and everything is done in Germany. So then I saw that with all the towers coming up and us going somewhere and everywhere is Wi-Fi, it was an explosion of Wi-Fi. Then I developed something much smaller, which I put a hole on. You can hang it. I have it on my keychain all the time. So when I travel, when I drive in the car, which is dangerous, every car has electromagnetic radiation, even the regular combustion chamber car. So when I travel in the car, I'll take that thing and have it on my keychain. And so I'm protected while I'm driving in the car, or protected from the towers nearby, or when I go in a restaurant. Whatever they have in the restaurant, I have the keychain next to me. I'm covered, and this covers 15 feet in radius. 15 feet in radius. That's plenty for you and your wife and your kids when you drive in the car and go in a restaurant. You take a walk down the street, sit in a coffee shop, and they do all the same thing. These are quantum physics computer. All my technology is based on quantum physics. And these are quantum physics computers. They're programmed. They're programmed against all these influences, and the warranty is 10 years. I warranty the products for 10 years. I guess that's what I should say about the protection. The government doesn't protect us. Forget about that. The big industry doesn't protect us. They want to make money. When I developed this cell phone unit, my friends say, you become a millionaire now. They'll put this in every cell phone they sell. I said, no, they will not do that. Why will they not do that? If they would do it, they would admit that the cell phone as it is now is dangerous. And they have a truckload of lawsuits. So they don't admit it. So the government doesn't help us. The government doesn't protect us. The government cannot even supply us healthy water. I'm not talking about the air, questionable. And the big industry, they don't care. The cigarette industry didn't care. The cell phone industry doesn't care. No cell phone company had ever to prove that a cell phone is not harmful. Please imagine, the FDA doesn't touch it. The business is too big. The biggest business in the world. We have 7 billion people on this planet plus, and we have more than 7 billion cell phones. Who wants to kill that business? Nobody does. In my next show, I will tell you, finally, who is behind all that and what is the real purpose and what's the real problem. I myself started 12 years ago to go that route when I set myself with the first cell phone. I made myself health problems and I realized it. And my grandson, when he was born, the first grandson, I realized the problems the boy was having. And I started to develop and work on this idea on the credit card and a protection. And the credit card, for the reason not to stick it on the product and then it's gone, you can move it from one phone to the other and so on. Besides that, I mentioned before, about 99% of all products out there who promise they protect you do not work. I tested them. They do not work. There may be a few, very few, but 99% do not work. They don't do the job. And you cannot test it. As a private person, how can you know it's true or not? Well, this is why I had the BISA Institute in Austria test all my products. And the testimonials, certification, are on my website. I wanted to differentiate myself from these companies out there who lie and betray, who tell you things which are not true. You think you're safe, you are not. That's unfortunate. I don't know. It's fraudulent. For me, it's fraudulent. But so this is why I asked them, test my products. I want to assure my customers that they are safe. You test it. And if you find out that they're not safe, let me know, then I'll improve them. They went all through the test with flying flags with no problems at all. And I keep doing these things and I keep working on new products, which I'm actually doing. And I developed something to protect the bees from dying. And we'll be talking about this in one of the shows. All right, my friends. This is all what I had to say today. Oh, one more quick thing. I recommend every week a book, right? And the book I want to recommend this week is called 101 Juice Recipes from a gentleman called Joe Cross. And I must say, this is a very unusual recipe book for juices. Not only the pictures make you drink juice every day, he gives you really ideas what you can do, what you can mix, what you can do. because we self are very limited in our fantasies usually. How much different juices can we make? And he shows them all to you. Great job, Joe Cross. Please, look up the book and get it and improve your life by means of this book. Okay, so next week we talk about vitamins, what you have to know, what is good and bad about vitamins. And I appreciate your tuning in today. Thanks a lot for your time. Thanks a lot of being with me. And I'm looking forward to your next show. Thank you very much. Improve your life. My name is Norbert Heuser. And bye-bye.